first instrument was clarinet, fourth grade. The junior high school band came and played a concert, and I wanted to play the trumpet real bad. And the band director said, you know, he says, everybody wants to play the trumpet. You should play the clarinet. And it turned out to be the right thing because the clarinet fits my personality. I mean, if you look at the personality of people that play instruments, you know, every instrument has a personality, and it turned out that just by luck of the draw, I got an instrument that was my personality. I've done so many wild, diverse things. Show work in Vegas, movie work, celebrity accompaniment. It's just impossible to say. There's just so much good music in this world, and it's a joy to play any of it. I feel fortunate to have made a living in this business my whole life. Well, I was with the American Folk Ballet, and I had a piccolo solo. It was a road orchestra, and I had a piccolo solo that I just couldn't play. And one night I really did not play it very well. And so about 10:30 at night, I went back to the hotel room and I just started practicing the piccolo. And oddly enough, that night there was a party of the cast, and one of the principals of the cast came to my room and knocked on the door and said, aren't you going to come to the party? And I said, no, I can't play this piccolo part, and I'm not going to do anything till I can play the piccolo part. My real advice is, in addition to playing an instrument, learn how to write, because there's a lot more money on that side of the glass. More and more movies and TV shows and shorts and advertisements are all being done with one person on a synthesizer. It's really changing the business. Even the live music, the orchestras are getting smaller. So first of all, you have to be really, really good at what you do. And if you can add writing to that, I think it's the way to go in the future. The idea of being a doubler is not to be a doubler, is to be a flute player, to be an oboe player, to be a clarinet player, to be a saxophone player. And it takes a long time. I found that it takes about 10 years of intense practicing for me to bring an instrument to the level that I think is professional, and that I wouldn't mind sitting with the first oboe player with the Philharmonic, or the first flute player with the Philharmonic, or the first clarinet player with the Philharmonic. And, you know, that's after about 25 years of playing the clarinet. It still takes me 10 years to learn an instrument with really intense practicing to bring it up to the level of what I think it should be. Intense practicing is 2 to 5 hours a day. Generally, I keep my warm-ups very short. I always have a teacher if I'm learning a new instrument, which I haven't done in a few years, but I always have a teacher, and I always have a teacher that only plays that instrument. I've never studied, well, I have studied with doublers, but my principal teachers have been single instrument players. So my general practice is a very, very short warm-up. I remember my flute teacher, she played 3 notes to warm up, and if she could play those 3 notes in tune, she thought she was warmed up. Takes me a little longer than that, but I get to the literature right away, whether it's jazz literature or the classical literature, the sonatas, the orchestral excerpts. I do some etude books, but to me, if I'm going to spend my time, I'd rather spend the time playing music I'm going to play. So the etude books are important to gain certain techniques, but you can gain a lot of those techniques by playing the literature. It's the dilemma of our business that the work is very seldom just interesting. It's usually terrifying or boring. The terrifying part comes in when they put those black notes in front of you and you have to play them the second time perfectly. And the boring comes when you're doing a show after the first or second week, and you know your internal dialogue's louder than the show. And there doesn't seem to be much that's in between those two things. So it's kind of an interesting way to make a living.